Since no one wants to have the conversation today because everyone is focused on something else, something a little bit more important in the music industry. Shout out to Drake. Shout out to Kendrick. Drop and give me 50. I'm trying to keep it PG. You lied to us, Drake. You lied. Allegations. Nevertheless, that is not for this video. That is for my stream, though. Listen, last night, Game 6 was played. Elimination game in Dallas. And Dallas took care of business. Luka Doncic finally got over the hump. The hump that is the LA Clippers for him. Listen, the Clippers have not had a lot of success in their Clipper tenure, but where they do have success is beating Luka's behind. But not this year. Not this year. And I will say this, as much credit I want to give Luka in this series, the most credit on the Dallas Mavericks must go. It must go to one Kyrie Irving, who last night had 30 points on 58, 56, 3 of 5 shooting from the line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Kyrie Irving was on one last night, and he's been on one for this whole series. And I will show y'all his numbers right now. In this series, Kyrie Irving averaged, where are they? Right here. Kyrie Irving averaged 27 points, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 to 6 rebounds, 4 to 5 assists, roughly 2 steals on 51, 45, 85 splits. Kyrie Irving was on one, man. And truth be told, despite Luka still applying a lot of pressure to the defense because of just how good he is, how much of a threat he is on offense, despite Luka still giving you on a bad series 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists, you can truly make the case that Kyrie Irving was the best player for the Dallas Mavericks this series, because Luka even said it himself that, yeah, if there's one dude that needs to step up, it is me. It is me. It is not Kyrie. And over these last 2 games, Luka has played a little bit better, and I think that has been he's played better. The efficiency is cheeks, though. 1 of 10 is crazy. But the difference maker and the guy that to me, has been the rock for the Dallas Mavericks this series, the guy that they've been able to count on consistently, is one Kyrie Irving. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the NBA playoffs, and who said only players can win this time of the year? You can as well with the sponsors of this video, Prize Picks, my personal favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. And I will show you how it works. All you got to do is sign up for an account, go to their website or download their app, pick your favorite sport. We're going to stick with NBA for this specific channel. We're going to go ahead and go to PRA, points, rebounds, and assists. We're going to go ahead and make a lineup for tonight's game. And for this lineup, let's go ahead and go to PRA real quick. Points, rebounds, plus assists. Jalen Brunson, not the most efficient series so far, but he's definitely putting up the numbers. I think Jalen Brunson is going to get more than 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That is a lofty number, but that's how good JB has been. You know I got to get my hater pick. Joel Embiid. He's gonna stinking up tonight. Depending on when this ad comes out, I may be cooked saying this, but I think Joel Embiid is going to get less than 47.5 points, rebounds, plus assists. I'm gonna go ahead and put $10 on this lineup right here. Click submit lineup, and boom, that is how you make a lineup on Prize Picks. And thanks to our friends over at Prize Picks. If you guys use code SLZ, you guys can get a 100% match on your first deposit of up to $100. Links to everything will be in the description down below, and shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Over on the Clippers side, Paul George, 18 points, 11 assists, 5 assists, 11 rebounds, 6 of 18 from the field. James Harden, 16 points, 13 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 of 16 from the field. Russell Westbrook, in 9 minutes of play, 6 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 2 of 7 from the field. 6th man of the year candidate, one of the best bench players in the league, Russell Westbrook, only played 9 minutes, and truth be told, for a majority of this game, the Clippers had a 6-man rotation. The Mavs did as well. But nevertheless, we need to have conversations about the LA Clippers. We need to have conversations about the LA Clippers and their future and some of the players on their team. I'm not going to lie, y'all, as fun as it is to clown on Paul George for choking it up, I feel bad at this point. I feel bad for Paul George at this point. You might be asking why. He keeps on getting left out there alone, dog. I ain't gonna lie. At least he had James Harden out there this year. And there's so many layers to this that we'll talk about in this video. So I guess we'll just start off with the easy one before we even get into that layer. James Harden We know you. We know you, James. And you know what's crazy? You were getting a lot of praise in this series for, I believe, the the first 4 games. The first 4 games, maybe even 3. Hold on, let me check, y'all. Let me check. There was for the beginning of the series, James Harden was actually playing very well. To the tune that, hey, James Harden fans, they was talking their shit. In the first 4 games of the series, yep, this is exactly what I meant. First 4 games of the series, James Harden was averaging 26 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds on 54, 50, 91 splits. Not prime James Harden volume, but even prime James. I've never seen a stretch where prime James Harden in the playoffs was this efficient. Like, James Harden in the first 4 games of the series was on one. And I'm not going to lie, the Clippers were looking good even without Kawhi Leonard for the rest of the series, but in the last 2 games, James Harden, when it really does matter the most, it has just been the story of James Harden's career. You know, when we talk about James Harden as a playoff performer, when you look at his series averages, they actually aren't that bad. And if anything, they're kind of underrated at this point with his notion as a playoff dropper. This idea that once you see playoff, game 1, series 1, like his numbers just immediately drop and he's not able to have good games in the playoffs. Like, that's not the case at all, clearly. And that has been the case throughout his whole career. But what has also been the case throughout his whole career is James Harden, I wish I had the data in front of me. Just from what I've seen, just what I remember, dude, he got to be the worst elimination game player I've ever seen, dog. Like, either closeout game when their backs are against the wall or when it's time to close out a series, James Harden just tends to stink it up. And yesterday, listen, I'm not going to lie, with the Drake and Kendrick shit going on stream, I wasn't paying as close of attention as I wanted to, but nevertheless, when I was watching, James Harden was missing a lot of floaters that he was hitting throughout the majority of the series. He was missing a lot of bunnies that you know he was hitting in the series. A lot of threes that he was hitting in this series. And that has just been a story of James Harden because this happened last season. This happened last season with James Harden in the 2023 playoffs against the Boston Celtics. James Harden, with an injured Joel Embiid, was in a similar situation. This is the wrong series right here. Was in a similar situation where he was asked to damn near carry the load, turn back the clock, and in the first game of the series, James Harden had a game winner, 45 points. But then when we look at the back half of the series, for James Harden, it just did not look good. And James Harden, from what I remember, was healthy in this series as well. Let me bring up his game log real quick, y'all. Let me bring up his game log 2023. Okay, and then in 2023 in the playoffs, Mouse, cooperate with me, please and thank you. Yes, sir. So yeah, this was the 45-point game right here. He follows it up 2 of 14. He follows it up 3 of 14, and then has the 40 bomb again. Goes 4 of 8 in the next game. Last 2 games, 4 of 16 from the field. This was a Jason Tatum stinker that James Harden literally just needed to play damn near. He just needed to play a little bit below average, and the Sixers would have won this game easily with how bad Jason Tatum was playing. 4-16 in Game 6, and then in Game 7 was 3 of 11 from the field, 5 turnovers. James Harden sucks in these situations. James Harden, we know you. On the other side of things, Russell Westbrook, oh my goodness, listen, the pack ain't hitting the same. This ain't prime Russell Westbrook pack, right? Because we all remember what it was in 2017 and 2019. Hell, even in 2022 when he was on the Lakers. But this season in this series against the Dallas Mavericks, my goodness, y'all, damn near unplayable by the time the series ended. He was only getting 9 minutes of play. And throughout the series, average of 19 minutes a game, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, was shooting 26% from the field. 24% from the 3-point line, which I want to check. I want to check how many 3-point attempts he averaged. Divided by 6. He was taking 2.8 a game. How many was he taking throughout the regular season? I swear to God, he wasn't taking 3 game. Okay, 2.3. So a little bit above average in terms of how many threes he was taking. That just didn't make sense for me. Why was Russell Westbrook shooting that many threes? I don't know. And then from the line, 61%, but that's expected, unfortunately, from Russell Westbrook at this time. Yes, I think Russell Westbrook has had a resurgency in his narrative and how people like him again. And I still think, the expectations are just different from Russell Westbrook now. He's not asked to be a star player, but nevertheless, for still a role player, for a guy who actually has been getting raving reviews for how he plays off the bench and how productive he is and how he changes the pace, Russell Westbrook could have played better. He could have played better. He should have played better. And that's just unacceptable, dog. This type of efficiency is just unacceptable. Now, let's talk about the guy who wasn't there. In my opinion, the main topic of this video. And that is Kawhi Leonard. And that is Kawhi Leonard, who in this series only played 2 games. Again, in those 2 games, he wasn't even that impactful. Yeah, he had 8 rebounds. He got you 2 steals. So it's not like he didn't have impact. But we all know what we expect from Kawhi Leonard typically when he's out there. We're expecting 23, 24, maybe even a 30 bomb in the playoffs from a Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? One of the best defenders in the league. He's been upping his playmaking this season specifically. When healthy, Kawhi Leonard is, in my opinion, still one of the 10 best players in the league. But it's time to have conversations about Kawhi, dog. And this is why I don't even want to spend much time on Paul George this go around, because while yes, Paul George could have played better, and I'm not gonna let him off the hook completely. Again, Paul George could have played better. Paul George he likes to get in his bag, and sometimes he's just unnecessarily getting into his bag. Paul George can't take easier shots. He is someone that falls under the trap of taking harder shots than he should have. But that's all I got for Paul George, because I can only I can only be so mad at Paul George when his running mate, when his best player, when the team's best player, when the guy that this franchise has been built around is never there when it matters the most. Never there. I'm talking about this whole tenure. And it's been 5 fucking years, y'all. 5 years is a long-ass time. That 11, 12, 13, 14. This tenure of Clipper basketball has been around longer than when LeBron was in Miami. This tenure of Clipper basketball is right about the same length as the 08 Big Three Kevin Garnett Celtics were together. And Kawhi Leonard, when it has mattered the most, has never been there. Every single year, the reason why this team cannot go as deep as they could or should have is because Kawhi Leonard is just not there. And let's look at the history. We all know what happened this year. He only played 2 games this year. In 2023, it was the same thing. Kawhi Leonard in the 2023 NBA playoffs versus the Phoenix Suns played 2 games, and then out of nowhere, he's out inevitably. He's out inevitably. While putting up these numbers too, which was what made it so annoying. Because Kawhi Leonard was playing damn near all-time level basketball, and just all of a sudden, he's out for the season. And it didn't even feel like, we didn't see like some crazy-ass moment that led us to believe he was going to be out for the regular season, for the rest of the season. It was just, oh, shit. What the fuck did Woj say? Oh, he's out inevitably? Oh, shit. So that's 2023. 2022, Kawhi Leonard missed that whole season due to an ACL injury. 2021, this is probably Kawhi Leonard's. I'll give him credit in 2021. Kawhi Leonard versus the Dallas Mavericks was there the whole time, played all 7 games, and played phenomenal basketball. Phenomenal basketball. 32 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists on 60, 43, 90 splits for a 7-game series. That's phenomenal basketball. But yet again, the season ends prematurely. In the Western Conference, well, honestly, they got through the Utah Jazz without Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard only played 4 games this series and then went down. And then once they faced the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals, which they still managed to push to 6. Again, this is why I want to shout out Paul George specifically this year. That motherfucker just got left hanging. He gave it. Paul George gave it his all. And it's just when you go up against the 2021 Phoenix Suns, without Kawhi, you know, you can only do so much when your second leading scorer is Reggie Jackson. And shout out to Reggie because Reggie was balling this series. When your third leading scorer is going to be Marcus Morris, you can only do so much. And then in 2020, the only season where Kawhi Leonard was there to finish the whole season, the whole playoff season, we know what happened. Blew a 3-1 lead. Blew a 3-1 lead. I need to remind myself on what he did in those last 3 games, because what I do remember is that he played like buns in Game 7. And that was really the start of the modern era of the Clipper pack. But Game 6, 8 of 18. Honestly, not the worst game, but honestly, Game 7 is the biggest, Kawhi Leonard choke moment. Didn't even get to the line once. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard, 6 of 22. Jeez Louise. So we're looking at literally ever since his first season with the Clippers. This team has not made it as far as they should have because Kawhi Leonard, for one reason or another, 90% of the time, statistically 80% of the time, it was because of injuries. That has been the reason why this team has not moved forward as much as they have. And while I do want to sympathize with Kawhi Leonard in the sense of, these are health concerns. These are injuries. You don't play with injuries like this, right? Your health does come first. I don't want Kawhi Leonard to go out there and play injured. And while I understand I have a lot of smoke for Kawhi Leonard right now, it is more so out of frustration because it is unfortunate what has happened to Kawhi Leonard's career. Because I would just like to assume that Kawhi Leonard does not want to be injured and hurting most of the time when it matters the most. And he would rather be healthy for the biggest games of the season than the 50 or 60 games in the regular season that he plays. I would like to be optimistic about Kawhi Leonard on that front. But when it comes to him as a franchise player, when it comes to this is the guy that this Clippers team is building around, he is just not it. Kawhi Leonard is, to me, and Joel Embiid as well, is the perfect example of, maybe when we're thinking about the best players in the league, we should have 2 lists. Best players when everyone is healthy, and who would I rather have on my team? Because Kawhi Leonard, even though he is talented as shit, he is an all-star. He is an all-NBA caliber player. You can make a case he's still a top 10 player in the league when healthy. One of the 10 best players in the league. When it matters the most, he's just not there. I don't know how more simple I can say it. But availability matters. And the excuse every single year cannot be injuries. You can't just, it's just unfortunate what happened this season. Give us a break. When you continually choose to build around this guy who has had injury history, and it's damn near clockwork that this guy's expected to be injured by the end of the season. That's it. I feel like at some point it becomes a choice to build around a player like this. At some point, and this is a conversation that I've been having all Jesus Christ, all playoffs, is this idea that, we gotta stop discrediting the winners of series just because X player on the other team was injured, specifically their best player. Because especially in cases like this, if it's a one-off injury that, of a player that doesn't get injured regularly, I still don't think you should play that card because, again, injuries just are a part of the game. But nevertheless, I'll throw you a little bit more, Bill, because, oh my God, that usually doesn't happen. But when it comes to a Kawhi Leonard, when it comes to a Joel Embiid, when it comes to an extent, I know he had his healthy season, an Anthony Davis, we cannot just pull if we were healthy, we would have kicked y'all out. No, bro, y'all are never healthy. This is who y'all are. This is who y'all are. And we gotta accept that. For better or for worse. This is who the LA Clippers build their scheme around, build their personnel around. When they signed James Harden, when Ty Lue is figuring out how to coach this team, it is from the lens of, when Kawhi Leonard is on the court, how do I maximize what is on the court? That's what it is. When we go into practice, it is with the idea that Kawhi Leonard will play on the court. And when time in and time out he just fucking leaves, or not leaves, but it's just not there, it's hard to make the proper adjustments. It's hard to for your players to get acclimated in new roles that they weren't playing throughout the whole season when they have to now, because Kawhi Leonard isn't there. I understand the whole next man up mentality is the thing that you should preach to your players during this time, but we still need to acknowledge that in that mentality, that's a hard thing to do when there are 17 shots that just needs to go somewhere. When the dude that's taking 4 shots a game now gotta take 9, that's not even in my rhythm. That hasn't been my role throughout the whole season. You know what I'm saying? When James Harden, who, again, I can only throw him so much bail, but James Harden did not come to this team to be a shot chucker again, dog. He did not come to this team to be a guy that needed to take 25 shots, 27 shots. But because Kawhi Leonard all of a sudden is not there, now the rhythm's off. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think what this Clipper team is going to do moving forward is what a lot of these teams are going to be doing moving forward. And that is, hey, listen, we're kind of stuck with what we got. I ain't going to lie. I think, we've committed too many assets, too many resources to the core that we got right now. And while in a vacuum, it probably would be better for us to move on, it is not a vacuum. We got a business to fucking run. We got tickets to sell. You know what I'm saying? This is just year 2 of trying this thing out. Possibly year 1 of just trying this thing out. Giving up after year 1, that's not going to look good for our fans. And that's not going to be a good look for our organization. So we got to keep pushing and retrying the button, especially for the Clippers, who are going to be hosting the All-Star game next season in the new Intuit Dome. And if I'm Steve Ballmer and I'm investing and putting all this money in this new $1 billion, I don't know how much it is, I'm just assume $1 billion project arena, I would love to have a team that people would buy tickets for and would have an enjoyable experience rooting for this team as we have our first season in this big-ass investment to develop some sort of happy fan base. It'd be crazy if we just started this new arena and every time you just went in, motherfuckers lost. And now it just becomes this neutral site to view other teams play. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that'd be crazy, right? But that's what's going to happen for the LA Clippers. They're going to continue to build around Kawhi Leonard. And like with damn near every team that's been eliminated so far, we are going to be having the same conversations we've been having. We are going to continue to have the same conversations we've been having. A lot of these front offices are stubborn as shit or are actually just stuck for non-basketball reasons with the personnel that they got. They already are talking about extending Ty Lue moving forward, so I highly doubt Ty Lue is going to want to be there for a rebuilding team, so I highly doubt that's the plan. And the Clippers, after a season where they arguably formed a super team with James Harden, had stretches where they looked unstoppable. And honestly, they had a couple games against Denver where, okay, like, theoretically they didn't address Jokic, but they played damn well against Denver. At some points in this season, the Clippers did look like the second best team in the West. Y'all don't remember that now, but there was that stretch where they looked scary. But here we are again, and but they fall short. They fall short. I can't even pull the depth card chat, because again, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I personally think they had a lot of really good role players on this team. From a matchup perspective, was it the best roster to go up against a Denver Nuggets down the line? I still don't think so. But a team with, on top of their big three, right, of James Harden, Kawhi, and PG, you add Russell Westbrook there. You add Norman Powell there. You add Zubac, Terrence Mann, PJ Tucker still on the team. You know what I'm saying? Mason Plumlee still on the team. Amir Coffey's on the team. They had pieces. They had pieces. It's not like this team didn't have depth whatsoever. Were there weak points? Absolutely. That's with any roster. It's unfortunate. But, like I said, if no one wants to make this video because motherfuckers are focused on something else, someone got to. But with that being said, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. What should the Clippers do moving forward? And I'm out, man. Peace.